Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. Amli's Alive. I hope you all are doing very well in your academics. I'm a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious person. Why? Because I'm getting comments on my videos, and I am very thankful to all my viewers, those who are commenting on my video. And today, our topic is about heredity. Before entering to our topic, please like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos to all of your friends. Why? Because I want some support and encouragement from your side. Then only I'll do with a more joyful videos, all the videos. And today our topic is about heredity. First of all, what is heredity? Heredity is nothing but the transferring of characters from one generation to another generation, which has a heredity. See, the characters that what I acquired from my father to me and me to my son, which has a heredity. See, now the character of height. My father is in a medium height, and I transfer that height to me, but me to my son, I'm transferring characters. Not exactly, some of variations will take place. And that's characters that what are transferring from one generation to another generation, which has a heredity. And first of all, what is we know about characters? The character is nothing but the futures of organisms, observable characteristics of an organism which has a characters. Characters or traits, both are same, like a synonyms. Traits or characters always in a pair of factors. A pair of factors always should be a factor, always should be a trait, like a capital or a small or like that. And this heredity will follow three methods to transfer the characters over a successive period of generation. And the three are: first one is variations, Mendel's law of inheritance, and evolution. And this Mendel's law of inheritance is proposed by George Mendel, the German botanist. And see here, first of all, variations. And what is variations means? The changes or differences of the characteristics of a same species. Changes or differences of a characters of the same species which has a variations to effective livinghood in a present life. And second one is Mendel's law of inheritance. Is this Mendel's law of inheritance explaining the process of characters from parent to offsprings? The passing of characters from parent to offsprings. Offsprings may be a sperm or a egg. And in this we are explaining about monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. And what is about monohybrid cross means? We are taking consideration of only one characteristics, and in this dihybrid cross we are taking two characteristics of over a successive period of time generations. And see here, now in monohybrid cross we are taking consideration of my height from me to my son. And in this dihybrid cross, we are taking consideration of two characteristics, like my height along with my colors from me to my son. That one is as a dihybrid cross. And in this evolution is nothing but gradual changes in a heritable characters of a population over a successive generation for better life, which is the evolution. And in this evolution, we are going to see about Darwinism, Lamarckism, and evidences of evolution. And before we need to see about Mendel's law of inheritance, first of all we need to know about monohybrid cross. And in this monohybrid cross we are going to explain about law of segregation and law of dominance. And law of segregation is nothing but, and see here, during gamete formation, a gamete may be a sperm or a egg. And here the word alleles. Alleles means, we need to know, first of all let me say about inheritance. What is inheritance means? The characteristics that what you are passing from one generation to another generation, that mechanism which has an inheritance. In this inheritance mechanism, the factors we say as alleles are always in a pair. And here the gamete formation, it may be a sperm or egg, you are taking only one allele to perceive the characteristics. See here, during gamete formation, from two alleles of a character, only one allele will transform to a gamete, maybe a sperm or egg, to persist traits. I already told you traits is nothing but a characters. And this one which has a law of segregation and law of dominance. In law of dominance, parents are crossing with a contrasting characteristics like a tall or short. But contrasting characteristics means two different characteristics. At the time, we hear only one allele. Only one allele will be dominant in F1 generation, filial generation. F1 filial generation, that only one characters will express. That one which has a law of dominance, then another one will become recessive. Okay, and after that, in dihybrid cross, we need to see about law of independent assortment. What is independent assortment? You know, and different genes are segregated during gamete formation. Means, yeah, there is not only one characteristics we are transferring from one generation to another generation. When the sperm or egg is forming, at that time the sperm or egg not only containing only one characteristics like a height. That one is containing height along with colors of height along the body color. They are taking more than one characters in these gametes. At that time, the tall characters not disturbing the color of the characters. Means, see here, the different genes are segregated independently during gamete formation. Inheritance of one character, it does not affect the another characters or another traits. Means, inheriting of one trait, that one is not at all affecting the another trait. It says a independent assortment. That one we see in law of law of independent assortment in dihybrid cross. Okay, we'll see about monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Yeah, see here, monohybrid cross. Here, T T. It's a tall and capital T small t small t. Yeah, see here, monohybrid cross. In this monohybrid cross, we are taking only one character like a tall and dwarf. See here, capital T, tall, and small t, dwarf. They both are parents, and these parents are producing gametes like a capital T, small t. Here we are seeing law of segregation, not a law of independent assortment, because we are only one characteristics, and there is no need of law of independent assortment. Here we are seeing about law of segregation. Only one characters are segregating to form a gametes, and these two gametes are fused to produce a F1 generation, filial generation 1. All are tall. Why? Because this capital T is dominating, and here we are seeing about law of dominance. Here in F1 generation, we are seeing law of dominance, and in this monohybrid, what we are seeing? Law of segregation and law of dominance. We are seeing two laws here. Okay, and now, yeah, here see about mono hybrid cross. Here in mono hybrid cross, we are taking only one characteristics like a tall and dwarf. See here, first of all, we need to know about phenotypic and genotypic. Now, what is phenotypic means? The phenotypic is nothing but the physical appearance, the external characteristics of an organism which has a phenotypes. And what about genotypes means? That what we can't see, it's all about in genes which has a genotype. And here the phenotype means tall and dwarf is a phenotype, and capital T small t are nothing but genotype. And when this monohybrid cross, they are crossing with a tall and dwarf, they are getting capital T small t as a gametes. And in F1 generation, they are getting capital T and small t all are tall, is nothing but capital T, small t. First of all, we need to know about the difference between capital T, capital T and small t. Here, these two differences means homozygous and heterozygous. And what is homozygous means? When the genes are having two same factors, which has a homozygous. Like capital T is a homozygous character, and here capital T, small t. Capital T small t is nothing but a heterozygous character. Here the capital T is dominating. Okay, and we already know about homozygous and heterozygous. And when this F1 generation is crossed one more time, we'll get a F2 generation, filial 2 generation. Here F2 will get a gametes like here, capital T, small t. Two gametes will get. When we cross this two, we'll get a phenotype of 3 is to 1 and genotype 1 is to 2 is to 1. Means what is ratio? Ratio is nothing but the differences between two characters, two traits. Here we are getting four daughters cells. In this four, we are getting three tall and one dog. It's a phenotype characters. Means what we see with our naked eye. What we see with naked eye, which has a phenotypic characters, and what we can't see, that which has a genotype, like a capital T, small t, like that. And here what we are getting, 3 is to 1 and 1 is to 2 is to 1. And this one is explained by Punnett. Is a one scientist, famous scientist. He expressed through this diagram, based on this diagram. And when you see this dihybrid cross, you are taking two characteristics. See here, capital Y, small y, or yellow and green. Yellow is dominant and green is recessive. You know, to express the recessive characters, two factors are required, and to express the dominant character, only one factor is required. One factor is required to express that characters which has a law of dominance. We already know that. And in here we are taking two characteristics, and in this two we are getting gametes like capital Y, capital R, small y, small r. These are gametes that what we are getting from the parents of capital Y, small capital R, or small y are smaller. Okay, and this capital Y, capital R, small r are crossed, and in F1 generations we are seeing heterozygote, capital Y, capital R, small r, heterozygote. When this F1 generation is crossed one more time, we will get a F2 generation. And here in F2 generation, you see this, the phenotypic characters are 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. What is phenotype? I already said that what we see with our naked eye, which has a phenotypic characters. Here, two capital Y's required for yellow. Is that correct? No. Why? Because yellow is dominant over the green. Means one eye is required. One eye is enough to express that yellow character. And here capital R. Only one capital R is required to round color dominance. And here for recessive characters, we need two characteristics, two factors, two alleles are required to show that dominance, recessive dominance, means recessive characters. And see here, these are the gametes that what we expect in F2 generation when we cross this capital Y, capital R, small r. And these gametes will cross with male and female, and it will produce capital Y. What it is? Capital Y, one is enough for what? Yellow over the green, and capital R means green. When you get a capital Y, capital R, one character, it means round and yellow. Means see here is 9R, round and yellow. And when you see this capital Y, yeah, see here. Okay, here in F2 generation, what we observe with eye, 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Means what we are expecting, 16 daughter cells we are expecting. In that 16 and 9 are round and yellow, because one factor is required to show the dominance, and 3 are round and green, and 3 are yellow and wrinkle, and 1 are green and wrinkle. When you see this genotypic characters, you need to see the genes, the alleles, what they are. Capital Y, capital R, small r, means 1 is 2. in capital Y, capital R, small r. See in this whole checkerboard what is there, and write down that genotypic character. It's your homework. Let me see how many you will write that genotypic uh, ratio of this dihybrid cross. I think you all are getting a good idea about this Mendel's law of inheritance. We'll see evolution in next class because it's already a lengthy video and I don't want to stress your mind. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, thank you. We'll see you later. Bye bye.